Hi guys, welcome to another wonderful video with the Number Ninja. So this is a walkthrough video of some checkpoints year 9 math questions. Okay, now here's a Venn diagram. We are given these three circles: Venn diagram, rational numbers, integers, and natural numbers. Now it says write each of these numbers in the correct part of the Venn diagram. Okay, one has been done for you. Okay, so they have already placed -7 here. So -7 is an integer. Okay, now don't forget, what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed as a fraction. Yeah, so like this. So if I have for example, I have something like this. I have, let's say, a all over b. Okay, where b is not equal to what? 0. So these are called rational numbers. Rational numbers contains integers and natural numbers. So which means integers and natural numbers are all under rational numbers. Okay, take note. So now, what are integers? Integers basically means whole numbers, positive or negative whole numbers, including 0. These are integers. Then what are natural numbers? So this means counting numbers. So which include numbers from 1, 2, 3 and above, excluding 0. Okay, they are called natural numbers. So okay, now let's do the next one, 12. So where should I place 12? Now, because 12 is a whole number, okay, so which means 12 is under natural, so 12 will come here. Yes. Okay, next one, I have square root of 36. Now the square root of 36 is 6. Actually, it's 6. So, and 6 is natural, so it comes here. So square root of 36 will come here. Okay, then the next one, I have 4.7. Now 4.7 is not natural, because take note, natural numbers are actually whole numbers. Okay, they are integers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and above. So 4.7 is not natural. Now 4.7 is not integer, okay, because it's not a whole number. So which means 4.7 is rational, so it comes here. 4.7 comes here, right? Okay, then the next one is -55 over 11. So now this should give us, now if I divide 55 by 11, I should have 5. So this thing here is like -5 actually. Okay, -5. So which means now -5 is an integer. Yes, because don't forget I said integers are both positive and negative whole numbers, right? So which means it should come here, -55 over 11. Okay, it's an integer and it's also rational. Yes, so because integers are under rational numbers, so that's why I put it here. Okay, then the next one is you have -2 over 3. Now -2 over 3 should give us 0.066667. so that's not integer, that's not natural, so that is obviously rational number, -2 over 3. Okay, because when you look very well, you see that I have -2 over 3. Okay, so this is expressed as a fraction. So my a is 2, my b is 3, of course. So this is a good example of a rational number. So this is the answer for that first question. Okay, now let's go to b. Here's a list of ways we have rational, irrational, prime, odd and square. complete the sentence using the correct word from the list. Okay, so I have square root of 3 and square root of 5 are examples of dashed numbers. Now the answer is irrational numbers. So these numbers are irrational numbers. How? Why? Now the reason is because these numbers are solved. Okay, they are solved actually. They are solved. So, and we know that all solved, okay, all solved are irrational numbers. Take note. So all solved are what? Irrational numbers. So since these numbers here are solved, which means they are what? Irrational numbers. Okay. Number 2, work out this. Give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So which means our answer must be a mixed number and it must be in its simplest form. Okay, take note. Now I'm going to apply the law of Bidmans here. Bidmans. Okay. Now since I have addition and division, don't forget in Bidmans division comes first, okay, before addition. So which means I'm going to divide first. So I will take one whole number 1 over 3. So you divide it by what? 4 number 4 over 4 over 5 first. So I will change each of these into mixed number. So you do 3 times 1, that's 3, plus 1, that's 4. I have 4 over 3, isn't it? Divided by 5 times 4, 20, plus 4, I have 24 over what? 5. Alright, so this is 4 over 3. 4 over 3, then don't forget, if we must change this division into multiplication. So if we do that, you are going to somersault this fraction, which means you have to take the reciprocal of this fraction. So that means 5 goes up and 24 goes down. Okay, don't forget, whenever you change this division into multiplication, you must reverse this fraction. Okay, so 4 here is 1 and 4 here is what? 6. So 1 times 5, I have 5 on top. 3 times 6, I have 18 below, right? Good. So now I have just divided these two. Look at these two. So I've done the division first, okay, because of Bidmans, obviously. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I will do 8 over 9, which is here. Then I will now add it plus. Look at plus here. Add it to the answer I just got, just like so. So now we can do since I have 9 and 18 in my denominator, okay, so I can multiply 8 over 9 by 2 to make them the same denominator. So which means I'm going to have 8 times 2, you get, all over 9 times 2, then plus what? 5 over 18. Now why am I multiplying by 2? So that I can get the same denominator of 18. This is 16 over 18, then plus what? 5 over what? 18. Now obviously I have the same denominator, 18, so you have to just you do 16 plus 5 all over what? 18. Now this gives us 21 all over what? 18. Now 3 can go. 3 here is 7, then 3 here 6. So I have 7 all over what? 6. And this is one whole number 1 over what? 6. Don't forget, the answer says mixed number, which is this simplest form. Wow. So this is the final answer, 1 whole number 1 over 6. Okay, good. Number 3. Now don't forget, these are checkpoint questions, okay, checkpoint style questions. So watch the video and review and make sure you follow along, okay, also review them as well. All right, now we have x is an integer which means x must be a whole number. All right, and x is between, okay, so I have cube root of x actually lies between 1 and 2. Yes, complete this sentences about x. Okay, one possible value of x is dash. So which means I have now I'm giving that the cube root of x. Okay, the cube root of x actually it lies between 1 and 2 like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is that since I have cube root, now the reverse of cube root is cube. So that's why I'm going to cube, I'll cube both sides, because the reverse of cube root is what? Cube. So you cube both sides. Okay, so which means I'm doing 1 or cube is less than. Now I'm cubing everything, actually everything. So if I cube this cube root of x, the cube cancel out the cube root, so only x will be left, right? Less than, this will be 2 or what? Cube. So 1 cube is 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. It's less than x, less than 2 cube means 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, 3 places, that gives us 8, right? Now this therefore means that the value of x lies between 1 and 8. Yes. Now we are asked to give out one possible value, only one. Now I have different values of x. Now s can be 2. So now don't forget s must be an integer, a whole number. Okay, so now the values of s are 2. So just think of whole numbers between 1 and 8. You get, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what? And 7. So any of these is correct. So these are all possible values of x. Now, but we are only asked to list out any one of them. So I can take 4. That's fine. Now I say there are a total of dash possible values of x. So let's just count them. When you count these values, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So which means there are a total of 6 possible values of x. Okay, just like so. Then number 4 is a write 62,000 in standard form. Now don't forget, for us to write a number, in fact a number is in standard form when the number is written like this. We have a times 10 to the power of what? N. Now mind you, this a here must be a number between 1 and 10. So just like so, like this. So the value of this letter a must go from 1 to 10. So which means the value of a can be 1. Okay, then the value of a cannot be 10. So it can be 9.999 like that. So which means numbers from 1 and less than 10, these are the values of a. Then the value of n can only take either positive or negative integers. Okay, now I have what I have here is 62,000. Now for us to write this number in standard form, what will I do? Now there is a point here, but the point is actually invisible, but it's actually here. So you are going to move that point, move it backward like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my point stays here, right? Stays here. So now make sure you move the point such that you must have a number between 1 and 10. You know, because of this value of a must be between 1 and 10. Okay, which is this. So that's why I move my point. I put my point here so that I can have 6.2. all right, so I have 6.2 because 6.2 is obviously between 1 and 10, right? So 6.2, you write 6.2 times 10 raised to the power of. Now how many times did I move my decimal point backward? I moved it, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So you put power 4 here. So this is how to express a number, a whole number in standard form. Okay, then now B says write 8.1 times 10 to the power of negative 3 as an ordinary number. So this number is already written in standard form already. So now we are just to express it as an ordinary number, okay? Now, if you have this, what you can do is this. Now I have 8.1 times 1 over 10 to the power of 3. Okay, now how do I get this? Because if you look carefully, you see that if you have 10 to the power of negative 3, from the law of indices, this should give us 1 over 10 to the power of 3, right? And this is obviously 1 over what? 1000. Okay, so obviously we have 8.1 all over what? 1000, right? So now this gives us, now I have 8.1, right? I have 8.1 there. So which means I'm dividing 8.1 by 1000. So which means I'm going to move my decimal point backward, 3 times. 3 times. Okay, so which means it moves 1, 2, 3. It stays here, right? So you have to fill 0 here, you put 0 here, and put 0 here. So the answer I'm getting is actually 0.0081. That's the answer. 0.0081. That's the answer. Now for number 5, we are given this. You see, write the value of W. Now this question is from indices. Now you are going to apply the law that says that if you have what's it called, a to the power of negative n, okay, this is equal to 1 over a to the power of n. Now this is a law, okay. This law, the reason why I have 1 over is because of the negative sign, okay. So which means if you have 200 to the power of negative 3, this is actually going to be 1 over what? It becomes 200 to the power of what? 3, right? Thank you. So, and this is also equal to, you can say, is equal to 1 over 200 to the power of what? W. Okay, from the equation. All right. So now just compare. When you compare, this is just to compare, comparison. So you must learn how to compare in mathematics. Very important skill. I have 1 on top. I have 1 on top. You have 200. So if you compare, you see that my W is just equal to that 3 there, right? Just like so. Number 6. What I have here is a division. So now these numbers are solved. These are solved actually. So basically you are dividing 2 solved. So I have square root of 56, isn't it? 54, sorry. You are dividing that by square root of what? 6, right? Now the law of solved says that you have to take 1 square root, you put 54 over what? 6. So my square root is now enclosing the the fraction, right? This gives us square root of what? 9. Yes. And this gives us an integer, that's 3. So the final answer is just 3. Just like so. Number 7, it says tick to show if each statement is true or what? Or false. Now I must make sure I use board mass. Please, you must be conversant with your board mass or bid mass. Okay, you must be bid mass. Now if you have a mixture of operations, now you can see I have addition and what? And multiplication. So what should I do first according to board mass? I should do multiplication first, right? Because m come before a, right? So which means I should do 3 times square root of what? 36 first, right? Yes, for this first one, this first one. So this gives us 3 times what? 6. Because root of 36 is 6, right? This is 18. Now obviously this 2 part gives me 18, right? 18. You now add 18 to this 2. So I have 2 plus 18 now, okay? So the answer is 20 actually. But what I'm giving here is 30. So this is false. False. Now for the second one, I have cube root of this whole thing. Now what I have under there is 8 times what? 8 times 3, then plus 3. So now applying bid mass, so I should multiply first. I should do 8 times 3, which is 24, then plus what, 3, that gives me what, 27, right? So now I will now do the cube root of 27, right? So this should give us what, 3. Now, but what I have here is 9, so it is false. So both are false, right? Now for number 8, I have the circumference of a circle is 6.28 centimeter. Find the area of the circle. Now the formula you should use, formula for the circumference C of a circle is given by 2 pi r. All right, you use 2 pi r, or you can use circumference is equal to pi d. Okay, now r is the radius and d is the diameter. Okay, you can use any one to solve it. And the formula for the area of a circle, area is A, is given by pi radius squared, right? Now in the question we are giving radius already. Oh no, sorry, we are giving circumference. Our circumference is actually what, 6.28, right? Very good. So which means I'll write 6.28 circumference. So which means 6.28, okay, is now equal to pi d. So I am using this one to solve this one. So you can use this 2 pi r, you get the same answer, okay? So which means because my circumference is 6.28, that's why I put 6.28 on the left hand side is equal to what, pi d, right? Very good. Now the value of pi, 6.28, okay, the value of pi is 3.14, okay, then times diameter d. Okay, so don't forget the value of pi is 3.14. Now this question is actually non-calculator, so I can divide this thing mentally. It's possible. Now for us to get the value of d, divide both sides by 3.14, right? Both sides by 3.14. So this cancel out what, this. Now the value of d is actually 2 centimeter, because if you divide 6.28 by 3.14, that gives you 2. Okay, now if my diameter is 2, now what is the radius? Now how do you get radius? Radius is half of diameter, don't forget. So which means if my diameter is 2 cm, my radius is going to be what? I will divide 2 cm by 2, right? So my radius is actually what, 1 centimeter, right? So now you can see that I use the circumference to get the radius now, which is 1 cm. Then I will now use the radius to get the area, because we are asked to find the area. So my formula is pi radius square, so which means my area is equal to, what is pi? You must use 3.14 for pi, please. Then times my radius is 1. I have 1 all squared. So this gives us 1 squared is 1 times this. So I have 3.14, right? You put your centimeter square. This is the final answer. So what I have here is 3.14 cm squared. This is the final answer. Okay, now for number 9, it says rearrange the formula. So we have P, we are given P equal to what? You have 3h squared all over 5, right? To make age, okay, the subject. So which means now this is called change of subject of a formula, okay, or we call it transposition. It's also called transposition, okay, or simply call it change of subject of a formula. Now you can see that this P is the subject now. So we are trying to make age the subject. So I can write P over 1. So when you have two fractions like this, what you should do is to cross multiply, okay? So you should cross multiply this thing. If I do that, I'm going to get which means just like this, I'm multiplying like this, okay? So which means this 5 will multiply P, okay? That's how to cross multiply, okay? 5 will multiply p. So 5, so which means I have 5 is multiplying p, right? Right, equal to this one will multiply what? 3h square. Thank you. We multiply 3h square. So 5 times p is 5p, right? Is equal to, I have my 3h squared here. Now don't forget, we are trying to make h to stand alone. That's the idea. So I have to divide both sides by this 3. Okay? Because this 3 is the coefficient of h squared. So divide both sides by 3 first. So 3 cancel out 3, right? So what I have there is basically, I have 5p all over 3 is equal to what? H squared, right? H squared. Now, the only way we can make h to stand alone is to eliminate this square here. So which means I have to take square roots. That's the only way to eliminate that square. You have to take square roots, okay, of both sides. Square root of both sides. So which means my h is going to be the square root of this thing here. Square root of 5p all over 3. Don't forget, your square root sign must cover everything like this. Okay, so this is the final answer. So h is now the subject. All right. Now for number 10, we have Eva says the highest common factor. So highest common factor is HCF, right? HCF, or we call it GCF. This means greatest common factor, or you call it highest common factor. Okay, they're the same thing. Now Eva says the HCF of 36 and 60 is 6. Show that she is not correct. Of course, she's not correct. Why? Because the HCF cannot be 6. Now, how do I solve HCF? So I'm using the table method. So you put your 36 here. You put your what? So 60 here, right? Okay. Now, the mistake most students use is to use 6. Now 6 can go into 36, which is 6. 6 into 60 is 10. Now, but this is not the proper method. Why? Because what you should do, now what you should use here should be prime numbers. Okay, please take note. So you are only allowed to use prime factors. So which means you cannot use even numbers. So that means what I should use here should be prime numbers. Okay, so don't forget, you can only use what? Prime factors. Very important. So which means 2 is prime, so I can start with 2. Now because 2 can, don't forget, this number used here, this number must be a factor of 36 and 60. So what that means is that any number I'm going to use here, that number must divide 36 and 60 without remainder. Okay, take note. So now these two can work. Now if I divide 36 by 2, I have 18, right? Divide 60 by 2, I have 30, right? You can say, so there's no remainder, so it worked. Now 2 can go again. If you divide 18 by 2, that's 9. Divide 30 by 2, that's 15. Wow, no remainder. It worked. Now I cannot use 2 again. So now 3 can go. Now I cannot use 5 because 5 can go into 15 without remainder. Quite alright. Now but 5 we have a remainder when it goes into 9. That's why I cannot use 5 here. Now 3 can go. If I divide 9 by 3, I'll get 3, no remainder. If I divide 15 by 3, I'll get 5, no remainder. Now I now have 3 and 5. So now there's no prime factor that can divide 3 and 5 at the same time. There's none. So which means the HCF now becomes, now you are going to multiply everything you have here, okay, to get the HCF. So I will do 2 times 2 times 3. So which means the answer is actually 12, right? So now Eva said the HCF is 6, so which means Eva is not correct. So now we have just been able to show. Now this working I've done, I have been able to show that Eva is not correct. So, and this is a 1 mark question. So that's how to show it. All right. Now don't forget, if you are looking for HCF, these numbers here must be prime factors, remember. And the number you use here, the numbers must divide these numbers without remainder. Okay, very important. Now number 11, it says complete each of these calculations with the correct whole numbers. Now from the law of indices, if you have a to the power of 0, the answer is what? 1. This is a law, okay? It's a law of indices, okay? Please, you must have it in your head. Which means any number, anything raised to the power of 0 must be 1, okay? So which means I have 13 to the power of 0. The answer is what? 1. That's the answer. Then now I have another law. So obviously for your level, for checkpoint level, we have 5 laws of what? Indices. Now the first law is this. You have a to the power of n times a to the power of m will give us a to the power of what? N plus m, right? Now this law is called multiplication law. This is the first law, okay, of indices. Now the second law is like this: a to the power of n times a to the power of what? M will give us a to the power of what? N minus m, right? Sorry, this is division. So which means if you have multiplication, you add the powers. Okay, this is division. Sorry. So if you have division, you do what? Subtract the powers, right? Okay. Then now the third law is called product law. If you have a to the power of n, then everything now is now raised to the power of m again. So which means product law says that you have to multiply the powers. This is n times m, right? So my answer is a to the power of what? mn. So this is called product law, okay? Then the fourth law is a to the power of 0, okay, which is 1, of course. Then the fifth law is like this: if you have a to the power of negative n, this is like saying, now since I have a minus, you write 1 over, okay, a to the power of what? N. So these are the 5 laws of indices that you should know, okay, for your checkpoint exam. All right. So now tell me, which law am I going to apply for this question? Now obviously is this law here, because they look alike, right? They look alike. So now applying that law, which means I'm going to have 2 to the power of, this is 3 times 2, right? Yes. This gives us 2 to the power of what? 6. Now the question says with the correct whole number, so which means I should continue. So the answer is 64. Okay. Now for this other one here, which law should I apply? Yes, I'm applying law 2. Thank you. So which means you have to be conversant with the 5 laws, please. The 5 laws, okay? The 5 laws of indices, okay? You must have them in your head, please. So I'm applying law 2. Now law 2 has division. Say division, don't forget. Now for that reason, law 2 says you are going to subtract, right, the power. So which means I will take my base number 11. So you do 15 minus what? 13, right? So this gives us 11 to the power of what? 2. Now because the question says with the correct whole number, that's why 11 squared is 121. That's the final answer, 121. Okay. Now for number 12, what I have here is this. Okay, so this is a simple equation. Okay, it's a simple equation. Now this equation has brackets. Simple equation with brackets. Simple equation with brackets. Now if you have a simple equation with brackets, okay, now what do? What you are going to do now, first of all, you are going to remove brackets. So the first thing I'm going to do is to remove all the brackets. Okay, that is called remove what? Brackets. Now for my left hand side, now I will use this 5 to multiply everything in brackets. So 5 times 4x, like so, then 5 will multiply 3, right? Like that. So 5 times 4x will give me 20x, right? Good. Then plus 5 times 3, that's 15, right? Is equal to, so obviously I use 5 to multiply everything in the bracket, right? Very good. So I have 97. Now I'm going to use, I'll use -8, mind you, -8 to multiply everything in bracket. So I'll do -8 times 0.5, right? Then -8 times -x, just like that. So -8 times 0.5. So if I, so which means I should have so I have -8 times 0.5. Okay, now this is like saying -8 times what? Half, because 0.5 is half. So half of -8, that's -4, right? -4. Good. So which means I have -4 here, right? Now when I do -8, so I've done the first one, which is this. Now I'm doing -8 times -x. So -8 times what? -x, right? So minus times minus is a plus, right? Plus 8 times s, that's 8x. So which means I have plus 8s. Now be very careful with the sign, okay? Be careful with the sign to avoid mistake, okay? So now at this stage, I'm going to collect like terms, okay? Collect like terms. So which means I have to arrange them. So I have 20x. Now I'm going to move this plus 8s across. Now this is a bridge. This is a bridge. So now by the time you move plus 8s across the bridge to the left hand side, this is my left hand side, okay? And this is my right hand side, okay? Just like so. So left hand, right hand. Now by the time plus 8s is moving across to the left hand side, so it must change the sign. So which means you now have -8s, right? You put your equal to. So this is my bridge, equal to. So I have 97 minus 4. Now this one are already on the right. Just put them. Now I'm going to move plus 15 across the bridge to the right hand side. It becomes -15, right? Thank you. Now on my left hand side, and I have 12x, right? Is equal to, so now I have 97 minus 4, that's 93. Okay, so and I have 93 minus 15. Okay, so this gives us, so I have 93 minus what? 15. Wow. So this gives us 78, right? So I have 78. Yeah. Okay, so now divide both sides by 12. Both sides by 12. Okay, now the reason is so that I can make s to what? To stand alone, right? So 12 cancel out 12. Now if you divide 78 by 12, okay, now let's break it down to lowest term. So I have 78 over what? 12. So now from here, now I can divide both sides by, both sides by what? By 3. 3 can go. Now 3 going to 7 gives us 2, right? Remember 1. So making here 18. 3 into 18 is 6, right? I have 26. 3 going to 12 is 4. Okay. Now 2 can go. 2 here is 13. And 2 here is what? 2 into 4 is 2. So now obviously the value of x is actually Divide 13 by 2, you will get 6.5, which is 6.5. That's the final answer, 6.5. Okay. All right. Then now for number 13, so we are given this other equation. We're asked to solve. Now solving means find what S stand for. Okay. Finding what S stand for, because S stand for a number. So let's find what S stand for actually. So now I can put over 1 here. Okay. Now I will now cross multiply, right? I have to cross multiply because I have two fractions. So when you cross multiply, just like this 12 will times 1 like this. So which means I have 12, with times 1, you put your equal to. Now I will use -3, okay, to multiply this expression. What I have there is 5 minus 2x. Okay. Now the reason why I put a bracket is because if you write -3 times 5 minus 2x, this is wrong, because your -3 is multiplying only the 5. It's wrong. So -3 should multiply 5 and minus 2x. Okay. So which is why you must put that bracket. Okay. So bracket is very important there. So when you have an expression, you must put your bracket. Okay. So I have 12 on the left is equal to, now I will use -3 to multiply everything in the bracket, just like this. So -3 times 5, that's -15. You have minus times minus, give us plus. 3 times 2s give us 6s, right? Wow. Now at this stage, collect like terms. So I have 12 on my left. So I'm moving this -15 across the bridge to the left. It turns to plus 15, right? Is equal to what I have here is only 6s left. Add this thing, you get 20 what? 7 is equal to what? 6s, right? Now don't forget, we are looking for the value of x. So now for us to make s stand alone, you must divide both sides by 6, because 6 is the coefficient of x, right? So 6 cancel out 6. So my s is equal to 27 over what? 6. Now 3 can go. 3 here is 9, and 3 here is what? 2. This gives us 4.5 or 4.5. So the value of s is actually 4.5. Number 14. Now the internal storages of 3 game consoles. So which means 3 game consoles are this. Okay. Write these values in order of size, starting with the smallest. All right. So I have smallest like that to the largest. Now I have 3 game consoles. So obviously, let's assume it can be PS4. PS4. It can be PS5. PS5. It can be Xbox. It can be Nintendo Switch. Okay. So and so on. So basically, I have 3 game consoles, and these are their these are the internal storage of their hard their hard drive storages. Okay. Now I have 500,000 MB megabyte. I have 32 gigabytes. I have 1 terabyte. Okay. Now the idea is that what you must know is the conversion. Now you must know that basically what's it called, 1000 bytes. 1000 bytes. Okay. 1000 bytes bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte. Okay. So this is a conversion factor. Then 1000 kilobytes, okay, is equal to 1 megabyte. All right. Then 1000 megabytes make 1 gigabyte. Okay. Then 1000 gigabytes makes 1 terabyte. Okay. So we have other ones, but let's stop here. So this is the conversion scale or factor that you should know, please. Now, for us to compare these hard drives, now I must make sure that they are all in the same unit. Yes. So which means I have to convert all of them into the same unit. So now let's choose. So which means I'm going to convert all into gigabytes. So you must make sure you convert them into the same what? Unit. So I'm using gigabyte. Now this one is already 32, right? 32 gigabytes. That's fine. Now I have one terabyte. Now don't forget, I said that what's it called? 1 terabyte, okay, is equivalent to how many gigabytes? 1,000, right? So which means 1 terabyte is actually 1,000 gigabytes, okay? Then now, what I have there is 5. What I have there, the first one is 500, thousand what? Megabyte, right? Now, for us to convert this into gigabytes, don't forget that I'm converting everything into gigabytes, please. Okay, take note, so that they can all be in the same unit. That's the only way I can compare them. Okay, when they are all in the same unit, gigabyte, like that. Now, for us to convert this MB into gigabyte, now because 1,000 MB makes 1 gigabyte, so I would divide this by 1,000. Okay, so this cancel out this. So what I have left there is just 500, right? 500 gigabytes. So which means this stuff is actually 500, gigabytes, right? Now you can see that they are all in gigabytes. Wow. So this become easy to compare. So I can compare them now easily. My smallest here become 32, right? It's 32 gigabytes. So now, but mind you, we are going to write the original values. Okay, not because these ones here are just like the what's it called, the converted values. Okay, these are converted values. So what I'm going to put here are these original values here, these ones. All right. Now the smallest one is 32 gigabytes. Okay, so which means 32 gigabytes should come first, the smallest, then followed by what? 500 gigabytes. Now this 500 gigabyte came from where? Came from 500,000, right? 500,000 megabytes. So I will not put 500 gigabytes here. So what I'm going to put is the original value, this one. Okay, take note of that. Then the largest one is this 1,000 gigabytes, so which is actually what? 1 terabyte, right? 1 terabyte. So this is the answer. Okay, just like so. Now this is the last question. Now the arrow points to a number. Okay, this arrow here, you can see it points to a number, right? Now it says draw a ring around the number the arrow points to. So now what I'm going to do here is that this is actually what's it called? This is called estimating sword. Okay, this is sword. It's called estimating what? Sword. Okay, so now obviously if I take the square root of 11, okay, now what I'm going to get should be 3 point something, because 3 squared is 9, right? Okay, and 4 squared is 16. So square root of 11 should be 3 point something. Now mind you, now you must check where your arrow is pointing. Now my arrow is pointing, so which means my number must be between 5 and what? 6, right? That's why this square root of 11 is not the answer, right? Because it's giving me 3 point something, so it's out. Okay, now let's continue. Square root of 22. Now don't forget, 4 squared is 11, then 5 squared is what? 5 squared is 25, right? 25. Now, but what I have here is 22. So the root of 11 of 22 should be less than 5, of course. So this should be 4 point something like that. So this one is not correct. Now the answer should obviously be either this or this. Now for us to be sure of this, now pay attention. This mark here means this mark here is midway. That's midway, okay? It's midway between 5 and 6. Now, and that's 5.5, right? Yes, so this is midway. Now look carefully. My arrow is pointing, my arrow is before, you see, is before 5.5. So which means the answer I'm looking for, should be less than 5.5, right? So which means my arrow is pointing to a number below or less than 5.5, of course. So if I take the square root of 30 and square root of 35, okay? Now, which one should be which one is closer to 5 than 6? So the answer should be square root of 30, yes. Okay, so we can just do a quick check on that. So if I take the square root of 30, you see, so what I have here is 5.47. okay, that's for this 5.47. okay, then if I take the square root of what, of 35, okay, so I have square root of 35. So what I have here is what? 5.92, right? So I have 5.92. Now it's not very clear, right? Now you can see that 5.92 should be very close, should be somewhere here, right? Yes. So this is where 5.92 will be very close to 6, right? Now, but my arrow is pointing to this. My arrow is less than 5.5. You can say so, which means this should be 5.47. Wow. So you can see that this is obviously this. This is the answer. So now the question says draw a ring. So which means the ring I'm going to draw now. My ring is going to be around what number? It's going to be around 30. Yeah. Because that is obviously the closest one to my arrow. So in your exam, this is how to draw a ring. So just draw a circle, okay, to enclose the answer, and that's all. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. So I hope this video really helped you. Okay, now this video is ideal for those preparing for the checkpoint exam, okay, in year 9. Okay, so now if this video actually helped you, please subscribe to this channel to get more videos, more engaging videos, okay, on checkpoint exam. And don't forget to also comment. You can comment, okay, and also like the video. Please always like the video, okay. And also yes, so you can leave your questions in the comment section, okay. I will make sure I answer every question, okay, in the comment section. So thank you guys for your time. So this is me saying goodbye from Number Ninja. Bye.